what in 2023 can we do right here now? And I think one of the things that everyone listening to this should be considering is the energy arena, into some type of an oil or natural gas drilling type of a strategy to receive anywhere between a 70 to a 90% tax deduction this year.
This is the podcast for small business owners and entrepreneurs who want to learn how simple ideas can lead to big wins for your business. I'm your host, Ryan DeLello, professional dancer from TV's So You Think You Can Dance, turned entrepreneur and business owner. I'm on a quest to discover the most creative ideas that have made all the difference for successful businesses. This is the IdeaWins Podcast. All right, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Today we have Justin Martin. Justin Martin is CEO and Senior Wealth Advisor for Legacy Wealth Management with his office based in Salt Lake City, Utah. Justin works with small business owners and doctors throughout the United States and is passionate about helping individuals prepare for a robust financial future. Justin completed his MBA at Texas A&M University and completed his undergraduate studies at Brigham Young University. He is FINRA Series 65 licensed, has been working as a wealth advisor since 2006, and is currently a board member with the International Association of Registered Financial Consultants. Justin, good to have you, man.
Well, that was a mouthful. It's good to be here with you. Thank you.
Well, you're so accomplished. It's hard to not have a mouthful with that bio. It's still impressive, man.
Still to this day, if you ask my wife or my kids what I do, they look at you and go, I don't know, money, taxes, I don't know. Oh, I love it.
It's probably better that way, right?
It is.
Tell us a little bit more about yourself. How did you get to where you are with Legacy?
Yeah, I'll fill in the gaps there a little bit.
What brought you to this point?
What I'm passionate about is helping individuals, helping families learn how to control their finances better. I think a lot of us grew up in a situation where communication with money was always just a little bit awkward of a conversation. And so I'm trying to open up the conversation and make people a little bit more comfortable with what's happening in the world of finances, especially personal finances. It's time to get a little bit vulnerable and really make sure that we're asking the right questions, and also asking the question of, I don't know what I don't know, so help me out here. I think one of the traps that far too often we get into is we just go and sit down with someone and say, hey, I need to retire someday. Where do I put my money? And then just kind of do this cross your fingers, say a prayer, and hope that it works out. So I'm kind of on this quest to help people understand that there are different strategies out there of wealth management, of task mitigation, and things that we can do to educate ourselves to prepare us for not only the future, but tomorrow. And what can we do right now? And so that's kind of the mission, kind of the quest I'm on with Legacy Wealth Management.
Well, I love it. I mean, our podcast is about small, simple things you can do that will have a big impact in your business. Obviously, that's really what you're doing with money, right? You're helping people make some very small but very, very crucial decisions now that will have a tremendous impact down the road, right?
Right. That's exactly it. It's looking at finances in a different way too. I mean, reading my bio there, I mean, it's obvious that a lot of the type of clients that I work with and that my other advisors and employees work with comes down to small business owners, accredited investors, doctors. We've got some celebrities, some Olympians that we work with. But really what we're looking at is helping people put their money away in a fashion where it's creating passive income, but also in a way where it's providing them tax deductions, tax credits, and helping them use the IRS tax code. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love working with you guys too. You're out there researching and finding different things like the ERC credits and the R&D tax credits and different things like that. There's a lot of that overlap there that's helping our clients in a way where they can progress financially.
Absolutely. I love that. I think business owners a lot of times just get so overwhelmed with the day-to-day operations of their business that there's a lot of these things that can fall through the cracks. And that's what we're trying to do here is we're trying to help them, guide them to these solutions, because they're not little things. They're really big things. Like you said, the ERC credit it's a big thing. It's a lot of money that you can qualify for it can make or break, your quarter or your year, or especially, a lot of people are talking about the economy and the potential downturn. I think what you're doing is particularly important to prepare for those times, right? And a lot of people, we see a lot of layoffs coming. You need to start preparing now so that you are protected long term, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. And we can go right into the weeds and talk about some of the things that are today, here and now, because what we have to realize also is we have a very progressive financial services and tax systems here in the United States. And a lot of times we get stuck in the, hey, what do we traditionally do year over year over year? Contribute to this IRA, get this type of tax deduction. But every year there are different things that we can utilize. And a lot of the different strategies that we'll talk about here today are for educational purpose only. I'm not here to give a blanket solicitation or recommendation to everyone. This is educational on purpose. But if we look at where the federal government is going right now, and we look at the economy today, we say, well, what in 2023 can we do right here now? And I think one of the things that everyone listening to this should be considering is the energy arena. For example, if you put any money, if you invest at all into anything dealing with oil, natural gas, solar, wind, hydro, you're going to receive some significant tax deductions or tax credits, depending on the investment, just by investing in the energy arena. And why? Well, it's because we are in an energy crisis right now. We are consuming more energy than we're producing. So President Biden, as well as almost all the other global leaders in the free world, are incentivizing investors to put money away into energy production. So right now, if you're a small business owner and you're sitting there in the 30 to 35% tax bracket, or maybe you live in the state of California and you're giving away half of your income. Right now, today, you should be looking at putting a money away into some type of an oil or natural gas drilling type of a strategy to receive anywhere between a 70 to a 90% tax deduction this year. So that's just one example.
Wow. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. That is massive. We are going to, and we'll talk about this later, but we're going to put a link in the podcast notes, guys, for you guys to reach out to them. Because this is something you don't want to wait on. Like you need to take this action now, because you're going to miss out. I mean, like you just said, there's limited windows for all of these strategies, and for sure on all of the strategies, the longer you wait, of course, the less beneficial it's going to be for you. So, what else? Maybe let's talk about one or two other strategies right now that you're
let's dive into
implementing
this.
for your clients.
Yeah, and it's important to remember that your investment strategy is only as good as knowing what the tax ramifications are of that strategy. So when we dive into talking about some type of an investment, in the end, is that going to put more ordinary income on us, more passive income on us, more capital gains on us? And what are we doing to mitigate that at the same time? So for example, let's say a person wants to dive into some real estate investing. Well, there's a myriad of different ways that a person can become a real estate investor, but I think in the back of our minds, everyone wants to be a real estate investor, right? That's part of this American dream that our ancestors and now all of us are trying to be, right? Well, how do we do that? And how do we make sure that we're doing it in a way where, in the end, cash flow is coming back to us and staying with us? It's not going straight back to the government. And don't get me wrong, I'm not an anti-tax and anti-government person. We absolutely need to pay taxes, but we need to use the tax code as it is written, which it's written for us to get tax deductions and tax credits. So for example, if a person invests in,
100%.
let's say some type of a mobile home park or manufactured home or a low income housing project, that income that's going to come off that project is going to come to you in the form of passive income. So you're going to receive this K1 of passive income. But did you know that being an owner in a manufactured home project, you're going to now have the capability to receive all sorts of passive losses, maybe even some tax credits for investing in low-income housing, and a myriad of other things where almost everyone that invests in manufactured home strategies, year over year, they make money on the strategy, but they're reporting tax losses at the same time. And it's because of the way that investment strategy is set up. So as a person is now saying, I want to be a real estate investor.
Two birds with one stone.
Yeah, let's look at the investment and the taxes at the same time and make them work together. So that's a different strategy we can look at. Now, small business owners that are listening in, let me give you another one to think about. If you are a single person entity, your business is just you and you alone, you don't have any other full-time employees, at some point or other, you've probably considered or looked at doing some type of a small business retirement account, whether it be a solo 401k or a SEP IRA or something like that. Well, as an individual owner of a company, you can usually put about 25% of your income into one of those types of into one of those types of accounts. Now, a solo 401k and a SEP IRA, those are called a tax deferred account. So you're going to take it straight from your business account, not pay taxes on it, goes into that account, and it's tax deferred for the future when you pull income. Now, here's the strategy. There is an opening, a loophole that's been open since 2010 that allows you to do what's called a backdoor Roth conversion, where you can put that money, let's say you make $100,000 and you put $25,000 into your SEP IRA, the very next day, you can convert that SEP IRA into a Roth IRA. Now, you're going to pay taxes on that money that you convert, but now your money, your $25,000, is sitting inside of a Roth IRA, which is now a tax-free bucket of money. So now you've got this tax-free bucket of money that you don't have to worry for the rest of your life about the taxes you're going to pay in that. So maybe you're a cryptocurrency person and you're going to buy some Bitcoin inside of your Roth IRA. Well, it's beautiful. When Bitcoin goes up to $1 gazillion and you sell out of it, who cares about the capital gains? Because guess what? It's all tax-free. Or maybe you're going to buy some real estate inside of it, or maybe some oil and natural gas, whatever it may be. You've got this big chunk of tax-free money that you can utilize. So that's a backdoor Roth conversion strategy that's still open right now. We think it'll come to an end at some point in time, but utilize it right now if you are a business owner with no employees inside of your entity. Oh yeah. So those are just I
hope everyone's taking notes.
Yeah. There's a lot, and like Ryan was saying, reach out to us or reach out to your investment advisor and talk through these strategies. Get your tax advisor, your CPA on board to talk through these strategies too, because really you as the individual have to be the proactive one. You will always care more about your money than anyone else will. Yeah. And unfortunately, in the world of taxes, CPAs and tax advisors, and to a certain extent, an investment advisor, is not trained to be proactive, but to be reactive to deadlines. So April 15th is coming up. October 15th is coming up. What do we do? And so it's just the little tiny strategies here and there that can happen. But it has to be you that educate yourself, that then sits down with your tax advisor and your investment advisor and you have to be the one that says, I want to do this, this, and this. Are you okay with that?
100%. When I was thinking about the biggest challenge someone faces with finding someone to help them manage their money, it was finding someone who cares as much about your money as you do. And I know you say that's not really possible, but I think that's what makes you guys different, right? Because you guys, and I've read a lot of the reviews, and people turn to you guys and they never look back. And the reason why they do that is because you really, really care about the clients you work with, and you go the extra mile. And so that's why, at IdeaWins, the whole goal is to find the best tools and resources for small business owners and entrepreneurs. And so we're very picky about who we recommend. And that's why we recommend you guys, because you really just like you have the reviews. You have people saying, this is actually why I switched to Legacy. And I've never looked back, because they actually do what they say they're going to do. And they truly care about our wealth and our preserving our wealth as much as we do. So thanks for everything you're doing. We're excited to send people your way so you can start to help them to implement these strategies sooner rather than later. I don't want to take too much of your time, Justin, but I do have another question for you. What do you think is the greatest challenge right now for small business owners in this day and age, in this market? There's a lot of there's many challenges, but what would you say, in your opinion, is the greatest challenge that a small business owner would be facing right now?
Great question. Obviously, that changes from person to person and from one quarter to the next quarter. One common theme that I'm seeing across the board right now with a lot of the small business owners that I'm working with here today, where we're sitting at the beginning of 2023, and this could change 3 months from now. I think one issue is attrition and the ability to hire good quality talent right now. There's a lot of businesses that are growing. There's a lot of businesses that are turning over, but it's finding the right talent to be with you in your company to support what you're trying to grow and what you're trying to do. So a lot of what we've been doing, and we've utilized some of your guys' resources and some of the mentorship that you guys provide. And that is inside of your company. What is the culture that you're building? What is the marketing strategies that you're building? And what is it that you're really trying to do to create a good atmosphere and a good place for your new employees to be? So I think attrition is a big thing that small business owners are running into right now.
Yeah, definitely. And finding really good quality employees, because there's a lot of layoffs happening, but the people that you keep, they've got to be high performers. They've got to be people you can trust, and people who have the same vision, and they're dedicated to helping your company reach their goals. So excellent. Hit the nail on the head on that one for sure. So anything else that you want to share with us, or that you want to talk about, you feel like is important today on the podcast?
Well, I think more than anything, I'm glad that people are listening in and educating themselves. Our clients know this very well, that when they go to invest with us, whether it be investment strategies or tax strategies, the education is the first thing that happens. They have to understand the risks. They have to understand the why behind what they're getting into, because who knows what's going to happen to me tomorrow. I could be here, I could not, but their money is still here, and they need to know what is going on with it. So I just have to say thank you, everyone, for sticking out and listening in, because education is really what's going to accelerate you when it comes to your personal finances. And there's so much good information out here, this podcast being one of the great resources out there. So educate yourself, learn what's happening, and you're going to be 2 steps ahead of everyone else.
100%. Thank you so much. And that's really our goal here, is to provide the experts like yourself to give that crucial education, that information for all the different aspects that a small business owner or entrepreneur might be facing with their business, with their finances, whether they're trying to grow, optimize, or save money, which you guys clearly are helping them to save and keep so much more of their money that they're working so hard to earn. So I just want to say amen to that. Thank you guys for being on here, for getting the education. Thank you, Justin, for your time. Again, everybody, we're going to put a link so that you can reach out to Justin and Legacy Wealth in the show notes. And again, you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining us on the IdeaWins Podcast.
Thanks for listening. If you're looking for tools or resources to grow, optimize, and save money for your business, or if you have questions about today's podcast or a previous episode, go to IdeaWins.com. We believe every idea counts, and a small, simple idea might be the only thing holding you back from a big win for your business. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast in your favorite podcast app so you never miss an episode. And as always, thanks for sharing Idea Wins with your friends. I'll see you next time.